The founder, Joint Professional Training and Support International, Mr. Chris Imumolen, joins us live to discuss the illegal tertiary institution system which the federal government has spotted. A warm welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your program today.
Now, what's prompted the NUC to take action against these institutions, and were there specific issues or concerns raised?
You know, in educational business, for us who are academia, we know that there must be check and balance at every time to ensure that the right thing is done, especially with the kind of educational system that we run in Africa and West Africa. You know, this issue has been a long-going issue, and if you follow your newscaster, you know very well that there have been many reported cases of institutions who do not follow due process in ensuring that students who go through those schools earn certificates. A certificate, you know clearly, is a receipt of knowledge that is gotten from a training exercise. So when that is not done and students are given certificates, that becomes a big question. So what the NUC has done is actually a reaction to the publication that a news, a journalist who did not go to school, did not and got a certificate from a school. And for us in that sector, we applaud all the agencies involved, the NUC, to making sure that from time to time, we look at happenings in the educational system and checkmate what is happening to ensure that at the end of the day, everyone who has a certificate, be it from Nigeria or outside of Nigeria, goes through the legitimate process to earning those certificates.
Now, how does the National Universities Commission, NUC, plan to enforce the ban on these illegal tertiary institutions? I know the acting executive secretary, Mr. Chris Miyaki, talked about the involvement of state security services in arresting and closing down these institutions. Can you speak more on that?
Yeah, you know, the first, we see that the committee have been set up first and foremost to check the activities of this school, to be sure that, okay, whatever allegation has been raised on various schools, we go through it legitimately and see what they are doing, if it's actually benchmarked with global practices in the educational system globally. You know, looking at the issue of the educational policy, the credit transfer policy, the accountability and transparency that academic wars go through. So, having done that, I believe, you know, for Nigeria, there is a lot of monitoring, a lot of physical checking to be sure that such organizations who are into such practices, you know, are checkmated and they are stopped from doing that. Why I am very concerned about this is because the committee that have been set up, which have been mandated, one of their mandates is to make sure that such institutions are located and they are also closed down, should engage in a due diligence job to ensure that proper investigation is done to looking at institutions, because we have some institutions in Nigeria who are professional institutes, and what they do basically is operate under the window of the credit transfer policy, where students could obtain a diploma from their school and transfer legitimately to international school to complete and earn a degree. I believe that the NUC is well equipped to carry out this investigation. And like the minister have said, in 2 months, we should begin to see some implementation of the policies.
Now let's take a look at the students' angle. What happens to those who may have enrolled in these unauthorized institutions, especially those in the north, west, or central, you know, in that sub-region? It's still trying to make education attractive to the students. So is this not discouraging for most of them that may have enrolled in these illegal institutions?
You know, like what the NUC had done some few days ago, I think the FEC had approved transnational educational policy. It's a window that would further now legitimate international institutions to operate in Nigeria, you know, in a way to also discourage Nigerians who or have Nigerians who want to travel, who want to study abroad, have maybe we've been trying to look at the policy for transfer. I think that policy is to cushion whatever effect that might happen from the outcome of the investigation. Because there's a lot of international investors that want to come into Nigeria, but the transnational educational policy would create a window for such to happen easier, because Nigeria, like we all know, is a signatory to Addis Convention, which supports student migration. And these are part of the teaching that if you want to run an institution under student migration policy, you must do it rightly. It's either a student run a pre-university program in your institution and transfer to a university to complete, but that learning process must be legitimately followed. So if for example, some schools are identified as schools that are not following those processes, I believe the NUC is also looking at ways to making sure that international schools can have their ground in Nigeria following the extinguish process without following the stress ordeal of accreditation all over again.
Now, are there broader implications or consequences for the Nigerian education system as a result of the closure of these illegal tertiary institutions?
The consequences are not, it may be immediate, but the benefit actually outweighs, because you get to have Nigerians who get to study and have their certificate legitimately. Knowledge is what we talk about, knowledge and exposure. Nigerians, whether they study home or abroad, should be exposed to adequate knowledge, should have experience, should have learned in a way that this knowledge will help to transform their character and their attitude. In that way, they can contribute to national growth. So we should not be looking at the temporary effects that may have on individual student or the school, but on the long run effect that it's going to have on national development on a large scale.
I mentioned earlier in our conversation about the implication, especially for children in the Northwest, especially what they're dealing with the issue of out of school children. So what do you think they can do to help them in this regard?
Yeah, we currently have over 18 million Nigerians out of school. Huge number. We have one of the highest in Sub-Sahara. And I believe the NUC, the Federal Ministry of Education, the window of transnational education that have been opened, I believe that policy would encourage more participation of international school in Nigeria. Yes, because I see that such policy might, within a very short frame of time, have international school operate legally in Nigeria, following the due process to have the establishment here. And many of us, for example, who also have stake, for example, in international school, are also looking at such window so that we can also be beneficiary of such window. And that will further help, Nigerians in the North who seek for education, who want to be educated, and who, because maybe proximity to schools and for so many reasons, want to have a study center, and which, of course, that was what gave birth to National Open University, to have university in your doorstep. Education is a priority for everyone. Education is a necessity, and I hope, I don't work with the agency, but I hope I'm just talking based on focus that the transnational educational policy that is set out will truly help to cushion the deficit we have in students that are drop out from school.
Many thanks, Mr. Chris Imumolen, the founder, Joint Professional Training and Support International. A pleasure sharing your thoughts with us on the program.
Thanks so much.